Sweet Valley Kids, number 4, Elizabeth's Valentine, Chapter 1, Grumpy Jessica. Jessica was sick and had already missed 3 days of school. Elizabeth was sleeping in the den while Jessica is sick. Being identical twins meant they were very close to each other. If one of them was happy, the other felt happy. If one was sad, the other felt sad too. They shared toys, candy, and usually a bedroom. I want to go to school today, Jessica said. You do, Elizabeth said. You never want to go to school. Both girls had long blonde hair with bangs and blue-green eyes. Elizabeth liked school and reading, and Jessica liked to play with friends. If I don't go to school today, Jessica said, I might miss making Valentine Day cards, and I'll definitely miss meeting Eva. Eva was a new student who was from Jamaica. Jessica was sure Lila would get picked as a host because she had been to Jamaica. Jessica said staying home was boring, but Alice made her stay home anyway. Sweet Valley Kids number 4, Elizabeth's Valentine, Chapter 2, The New Girl. Elizabeth was sitting in the classroom. Mrs. Becker came in with the new girl, Eva, and she had Eva sit in Jessica's seat. And Eva had a British accent. Eva was wearing a blue jumper with a white blouse. Now Mrs. Becker said Eva needs someone to show her around school and make her feel at home in her new neighborhood. I had a hard time choosing someone since Eva comes from another country. I'm picking the student who got the best marks in social studies this year, Elizabeth. Elizabeth couldn't believe she was picked as host. Neither could Lila. Lila, Amy, and Ellen sat at lunch with Elizabeth and Eva, and they wanted Eva to say something funny because of her British accent. And Lila was acting mean to Eva, and Eva said, I'm glad Mrs. Becker picked you to help me. Sweet Valley Kids number 4, Elizabeth's Valentine, Chapter 3, Center of Attention. It was Jessica's first day back to school, and she found the new girl in her seat. Jessica was at least glad Lila didn't get picked as host. Lila told Jessica, You better not get me sick. Jessica was upset no one saw that she was back. Hello, Jessica, Mrs. Becker said when she came in. I'm glad you feel better. Welcome back. Mrs. Becker, Jessica said, someone is sitting in my seat. I wanted her to sit next to Elizabeth, but I know you like to sit next to your sister, too. I have an idea. She had Amy move so Jessica could sit next to Elizabeth. Eva never met twins before. First, I want to say that Valentine's Day is next week and that we'll be making cards the day before, so start thinking about what kind of cards you want to make and who your secret Valentine will be this year. Lila and Jessica both decided that they didn't like Eva. Sweet Valley Kids number 4, Elizabeth's Valentine, Chapter 4, Left Out. On Saturday morning, Alice was making pancakes and Elizabeth wanted them in the shape of animals. Elizabeth said Amy and Eva were coming over to come swimming, and Alice reminded Jessica to not get in the water. But no swimming for you today, Jessica. It's a little too chilly, and I don't want you to get sick again. Amy was wearing a pink bathing suit. Ned was on a lawn chair watching the kids. Eva had a pink two-piece bathing suit. Amy said, Hi, Elizabeth says you already know how to swim. Sure, I can do lots of things in the water. Can you do somersaults? Eva showed Elizabeth and Amy how to do water somersaults. Elizabeth loved learning water gymnastics, and after a while, Elizabeth realized that Amy was up on the deck with Jessica, but Amy didn't want to get back into the water with Eva and Elizabeth. Sweet Valley Kids number 4, Elizabeth's Valentine, Chapter 5, Seesaw Friends. Ned took the twins to play at the park. Jessica was glad she didn't see any friends so she could have Elizabeth to herself. Let's go to the seesaw, Jessica, Elizabeth said. Do you want to do no hands? Jessica said. Okay, but no bumping. Hey, Jessica, look at my new bike, Lila said. Lila was riding a shiny new blue bicycle. And look, it even has a headlight. Do you guys want to go on to the jungle gym? Lila asked. Not right now, maybe later. Well, do you want to play tag? Ken and Todd and Winston are over by the fountain. They always play tag. Maybe later in a little while. Lila got mad and walked away. Why didn't you want to play with Lila? You weren't very nice. Hey, look, Elizabeth said, there's Eva. Let's play with her. Hi, Jessica, Eva said. This is such a pretty park. I'm so happy Elizabeth told me about it. Jessica couldn't believe Elizabeth told Eva about the park. Eva wanted to buy Elizabeth ice cream. Sweet Valley Kids number 4, Elizabeth's Valentine. Chapter 6, I'm Mad at You. The twins were waiting for the bus, and Mrs. Becker was going to show a movie that day. When they got to school, Jessica went to look at the hamsters, even though Elizabeth wanted to tell Eva hi. Jessica was pretending not to hear Elizabeth. Eva and Elizabeth were looking for a place to sit. Let's find a table, Elizabeth said to Eva. Where should we sit? Eva asked. Jessica is over there. Amy's sitting here, Jessica said. I'm saving this seat for her. And Amy sat down. Jessica always said Amy was such a tomboy. Why were they suddenly so close friends? Eva told Elizabeth, let's go find other seats. They don't want us to sit with them. Sweet Valley Kids number 4, Elizabeth's Valentine, Chapter 7, Making Hearts. They were making Valentine's Day cards. I'd like a volunteer to pass out the art supplies, Mrs. Becker said. Jessica, how about you? Mrs. Becker said, and please choose someone to help you. Jessica always picked Elizabeth, and Amy can help me, Jessica said. Elizabeth was supposed to come over to my house after school. I want you to come over instead. Jessica didn't like playing with Amy, but wanted to make Elizabeth jealous. Lila didn't want to sit with Jessica at the art table. They were making Valentine cards for their secret Valentine. Jessica was going to give her Valentine card to Mrs. Becker, even though she normally gave it to Elizabeth, and she didn't like that Amy was going to copy her and give hers also to Mrs. Becker. And Amy told Jessica, I have a fort outside in the bushes. We could play pirates. Sweet Valley Kids number 4, Elizabeth's Valentine, Chapter 8, Valentine's Day. On Wednesday was Valentine's Day. The twins often wore the same outfits to school. Elizabeth was going to wear a red sweatshirt, and Jessica didn't want to dress alike. Ned wished the girls happy Valentine's Day. Hi, Elizabeth, Eva said. Happy Valentine's Day. Hi. It's my turn to feed the hamsters. Want to help me? I'm sorry you're sad, Eva said. Are they mad at me? At you because of you like me? I don't know. Mrs. Becker placed a box on her desk. I think we should begin Valentine's Day by handing out our cards. The first Valentine is for Julie Porter. Thank you, Secret Valentine, whoever you are. Here's one for Winston, Mrs. Becker said. Winston turned red, but looked happy as he read the card. Here's one for Elizabeth. To my secret Valentine, you are a special friend. It was from Eva. I know why you're so sad. I have a good idea how to make everyone friends again, Eva said. I'll tell you tomorrow. Sweet Valley Kids number 4, Elizabeth's Valentine, Chapter 9, All Tangled Up. Eva arrived at school and looked different. She had new clothes, a knitted shirt, and white sneakers. She looked like the rest of them now. It seemed Eva had a secret. Jessica remembered she was mad at Elizabeth and Eva for spending so much time together, and mad at Lila for being mad at her, and mad at Amy for making her play pirates. What? Jessica said. Ken Matthews had a note for her. Who's that from? Ken pointed to Eva. The note said, please come to the swing set at recess for a special meeting. Lila, Elizabeth, and Amy had the same note. They got to the swings and waited for Eva. Eva wanted to play a game that involved a string. She wrapped it around them. As they tried to get untangled, they all started to like each other again. Sweet Valley Kids number 4, Elizabeth's Valentine, Chapter 10, Friends Again. Eva, Amy, Lila had come over to swim in the pool. They all raced to the pool to see who could get into the pool first, but it was a tie. Alice said, I guess you all deserve ice cream when you get out. Lila said, let's play a game. Let's pretend we're mermaids. I know, Amy said. Eva can show us how to do somersaults. Elizabeth was glad they were all friends now. Elizabeth heard a cat. She said, hey, I heard a cat. That's what I heard last time, Eva said. Elizabeth said, let's see if we can tell where it's coming from. Amy said, I think it's in those bushes. A great cat was hiding under the bush. Jessica and Elizabeth wanted to help the cat, but Stephen and Ned were allergic to cats.